Morning chaps. I just thought I'd do a little video on how to remove, in my case, hopefully, how to remove a double smile on this little Sheffield razor. I'm only doing it because it's got a relatively good finish. It's the name. It's a cigar brand. Anyway, I've had a go at removing this ridiculous, strange worn pattern. I think the early Sheffield razors, they weren't particularly accurately ground. This one is fairly early. It's got the typical lead wedge at the back. It's had very, very little corrosion, but I think too much wear. This is my fourth set of black tape because the damn thing has been rather recalcitrant, and I'm working hard. What I'm using, instead of a 1000 grit stone, which I would normally try and use, I'm actually using my 400 grit diamond plate because it won't trough and give the same faults as a stone. You can hear the horrible things I'm doing to this poor edge, but it really was unusable. It had two very strange smiles in the edge, which I'm trying to remove now. I'm going to turn this stone over. First of all, have a look at the amount of swarf. That's all steel. I'm going to go over to the 1000 grit side now and just give a slightly kinder scratch pattern before I revert to the stones in a normal manner. But I think this is a good experiment. I've never tried to take out two, for want of a better word, troughs, smiles out of an edge before. Very strange. I don't know how the guy did it. Originally, I imagine it was on a very, very worn stone, which actually had troughs in it, which have been ground into this poor blade. I think I'm going to have to call this a day as far as writing the troughs and trying to redeem them. I think this is probably good enough. I've already spent quite a lot of time on this edge. I don't intend spending all day on it. It's only an experiment. Part of the reason is I've got rather a nice stone to try, which I shall show you in a moment. First of all, just let me assure you my stones have been flatted off. I'm now going to go to these. You can see this has already been flattened. This is a 3000 nanoa, and that's a kind stone, very easy to flatten as well. I'll compare the scratch pattern and see where we are. The diamond plate was a 400, yeah, and then I went to 1000. It's a worn plate, so who knows. Already there's a fair bit of swarf coming off this, as you can probably see. I don't know if you can. That's swarf. Anyway, this hopefully will show a very slightly less scratched pattern on the edge. This is just purely an experiment which you can do with a cheap razor. This was a very cheap buy from eBay, and thank God for cheap buys on eBay. I've had some really bad ones as well, but this one I just think is a very exciting experiment because I'm not the world's great expert when it comes to removing peculiar ground faults on an edge. We can all take out knocks and nicks, that's easy. But to take out two strange smiling faults is very odd. The centre of the blade was actually quite raised, so it was almost like a smiling edge, but with two sort of perverted smiles at each end. So anyway, I'm not going to whack on too much. You can see the amount of swarf which has been removed. So I'm assuming that that will have removed the scratch pattern. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Yeah, it's noticeably better. It's still there, this weird perversion. I think the big problem with some of these early blades, I did rock and roll it on a flat plate. It's straight, but the grind, there's something wrong with that grind. Anyway, as long as it's even, which it is, it's a very even scratch pattern from 3000. Let's say goodbye to the Nanoma, which is, so it's a very good 3K. I bought this one in 2021, beginning of 2021, and I just can't put any wear on it. It's wonderful. Whereas my diamond plate is almost worn out. Anyway, let's go to a 5K and see how that performs. This little progression is, you know, very simple. Just to prove, I do occasionally, look, I do occasionally flatten the stones properly. I think this one's pretty good actually. This is a, yeah. Oh heck, why bother? This one's flat. I was just checking. Not a bad idea to raise a little slurry, as I'm not going to spend all day long on this. Let's try. I did neglect to bring a decent loop. This is going to be a little bit trial and error, chaps. But I do believe going from a diamond plate to a 3K, 5K now should easily remove any faults. Very relaxing. See, this is a, what is this 5K? Let's have a look. Oh, it's a Sheffield. I've got to say, it's a lovely stone. It's got very pretty little speckles on it too. As you can see, it's raising up the swarf beautifully. So do you know what? I'm not going to spend very much longer on this. Let's just check with the naked eye. Nope, just need a little bit more. I have found, as I'm sure you guys have as well, that if you alter the angle of the blade to the stone, it's a lot easier to see with the naked eye that your scratches have been removed or not removed from the last stone. So that's like a up and down 45 degree. Yep, that's it, that's gone. Previous scratch is gone, so we can now say goodbye to the 5K, which has done its job. Lovely stone, very fast. I like fast stones. Whereas the diamond plate, I spent an hour trying to get those blasted marks out. I'm not too sure if I have. There's my 8K. Ta-da! This is a Nanoir. This is the Jamping or Jampu 8K. Can't pronounce it. It's a very nice super stone. Make sure you don't contaminate your stone with the previous stone. That would be a huge mistake. So let's give that a good wash off. Give it a quick check. Making sure you wash your plate off. Otherwise, I'll be pushing 5K into 8K. And that wouldn't be very sensible, would it? I think contamination is something I think we're all used to. There we go. Let's just make sure we've got a degree of flatness. Lines are going nicely. There's no huge contaminated, flattened, hollowed, raised areas. Some of these stones might warp. I don't believe it's very likely though, because this is a very thick stone, and as you can see, that is completely removed all the pencil marks, all bar a couple there. Let's get rid of them. There you go. That's it. That's one beautifully level stone. I was using the 400 grit side of the diamond stone. Let's just try and see. Ooh, look at the metal coming off. Look at that. Bits of this and that. I have very high hopes. And then, once I've gone off the rather nice super white, I'm going to show you what came down from Gary. I bought a Lune from Gary, and I've got to say, it does look a very, very, very nice stone. It's a bit posh, so I don't know if I deserve it. As you can see against the white background of this Nano Art 8K, you can see the swarf building up. Now I'm not going to be doing this for much longer, as these are merely experiments. Normally, by now on an 8K, you call it pretty much shave ready. So let's do a little proof. This is the famous or infamous tomato test. So, ooh, 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 bloody hell. Now that's sharp. So what I'll do, I'll blunt it. That's just killed the edge. Yep, look at that. Completely dead. Let's see how many strokes it takes to bring the edge back. I reckon probably 12. Seven, 8, 9, nearly there. 10, 11, 12. Let's see if 12 strokes was enough to bring the edge back. Nope, it wasn't. Yeah, it usually takes about 20 to be fair. So I'll give it a few extra. This to me is a pretty definitive test. I love my little tomatoes. Their skin on the little baby tomatoes is just right for testing. So let's hope that this is enough. I'll do a few more just to be on the safe side. The reason I use both hands is to keep a more even pressure. I'm trying to put these edges straight, not sort of rock them. I think if you want to rock it, then use one hand, I guess. Right, let's see. Let's see. Nope. Nearly. Ooh. Let's do a few rotary strokes. This will take up a little more steel. It's amazing how, if you think about it, a circular stroke like this is covering twice the area of your normal up and down stroke, lateral stroke, and therefore will take off more metal. Really, a bit of a waste of time killing the edge, because I knew that it was looking all right. Going in this direction will also, of course, kill any wire edge. If you're going edge forward into a stone like this, you can't build up a wire edge, I don't believe. Let's see. Here's my tomato. Oh yeah. Oh yes. The other test is, of course, you've got to have this tomato test. Yeah, that's so it's even. Yeah. Maybe a couple of strokes just on the nose. Just a couple more. Just to get it absolutely even. That'll do it. Oh yeah, there you go. And the tomato goes in the mouth. It's done its job. Now it needs eating. So there you have it. That's how I've brought it from completely wrecked with two huge troughs in the edge, a double smiling troughed edge, whatever that means. That's now removed. We've gone through 400 and 1000 grit diamond plate. We've gone through 3K, 5K, 8K, and now, haha, look what I've got. This is a Lune, French Vargary. There's the slurry stone. There's a little stone. And I think this should be quite an interesting experiment. So let's drive up a slurry. I won't need to flat this because it's coming from Gary, who is our hero on YouTube. He is a professional barber and he's been straight razor shaving and doing straight razor YouTube for many more years than me. And if Gary says jump, I simply say how high, because he's a master. Anyway, how about that? That's a nice little slurry built up there. I think that should be sufficient. Let's put that down safely. And here's the razor. Feels nice. Yeah, this is quite a fine stone. It's some form of natural slate, or I think it's a natural slate. It's definitely a sediment rock. But I've not used a Lune before, so I'm quite excited. In fact, once I've finished putting an edge on this razor, I shall strop it. I'll give it a hanging hair test, which I'm not going to do now, for the simple reason it needs really to go on a good strop and have a good beating up. So I would say that looks quite nice actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's not a mirror. No, I would say that is not a mirror edge. So we'll do a little bit more. A few rotary strokes. I want to get rid of the previous 8K scratches. So there's now virtually no slurry on the stone now. So this should be enough to replace the 8K scratches with scratches from a Lune. Now, the Lunes, as I say, I've never touched one. This is the very first. But generally speaking, natural stones do give a kinder edge. They're not as brittle and razor sharp. I would normally go 10K, 20K synthetic. I love the 20K synthetic. You've never seen a mirror edge like a 20K can bring up. The only trouble is you're then dependent on the quality of the steel. And if the steel is a kind steel, there's a little tiny bit of something on there. I think only a tiny bit of my black tape. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've gone through another layer of black tape. Can't believe it. One of the big dangers is with taping a blade. I had to tape this one because it's got such a fine, sharp spine. And obviously, as I've been using a very coarse diamond plate, I would have totally destroyed the edge of the spine, which is a shame because this was a pretty much unmarked razor. Nice, cheap little Sheffield razor. I think it's just over 5/8. It probably originally was a 6/8, but since somebody was using it to sharpen on their doorstep, probably, it had some very strange grooves. But that, I'm not going to put another tape on. This is, as I say, this isn't a wonderful blade anyway. Let's hope that's enough. Let me give it a quick visual check. Yeah, that's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's perfect. It needs just a little tiny bit. You guys won't be able to see this, I'm sure, but just needs a little bit on the nose, on the toe, just to remove the last scratches from the previous stone. And then, all being well, I'm going to strop it. I'll go canvas, 40 laps, very fine Kaneyama leather, and if it's still not perfect, I should put it on a pasted strop, probably TI paste, which Gary loves as well. Can't go wrong with that. But if it doesn't achieve a perfect hanging hair test in both directions of the hair, I'm not going to shave with it. Because for shaving you want perfection. As I keep wittering on about it, any old knife, never mind razor, should be able to do in one direction, the direction of the scales going down the hair, it should cut. Going the opposite direction, far more difficult to achieve. So as I say, for those who poo-poo the hanging hair test, it's because they don't know how to do it. It's got to be done so that in both directions it's absolutely perfect. In fact, on a little blade like this, I'll be surprised if it doesn't do it quite well. Sheffield steel of this period is very nice steel, actually. There we are. Let's have another look. May I say thank you to our friend Gary for providing me with the opportunity to use this strange French stone. I'm still not happy. There are still undulations on the edge of this razor, but I rather think now they're my undulations and not the previous undulations. So I rather think that's done it. Anyway, this has been a too long a video. I'm sorry to bore you chaps. I'm going to go and strop this now. Take the tape off. Hang about. This is my 5th layer of tape on this stupid razor. Yeah, I'm going to take the tape off. I'm going to take it to now do some stropping on it, and if it works, I'm going to do a little shave video with it. Anyway chaps, I hope you enjoyed this. It's a bit long, I do apologise, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now, bye.